Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Most of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach. I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. I've got a number of other presentations on my website if you'd like to check those out. If your organization has an upcoming conference and you need a keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I would love to be a part. I've got a number of great books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear. My book, Perfecting Your Platform. Both of those are on Amazon and Audible if you like to listen to books. And my series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, they're available on Amazon, volumes 1 through 3. Just go into Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield. All my books will appear. Friends, I've got a tough love lesson today, and I am so excited to share it with you. So I want you to stay with me. I'm going to come right back after the break, and we're going to talk about setting you up for outrageous success. That's my goal in life. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. So I came across a quote a while back, and it's this: "You can never leave footprints that last if you were always walking on tiptoe." It's from, I think it's Lemay Gabi. If you're like me, you see a quote, and just like that, it makes a great mental stop. And that's what happened when I saw today's quote and theme. Those who know me know I'm not someone who tiptoes around issues. It's a time matter for me. I don't like to waste time. And so it's just better for me to have a direct response, a decision, or an action so I can move on to other things. Now, no doubt it's gotten me into trouble a few times, but chalk it up to my impatience and to my limited ability to focus on a multitude of things at one time. I am not a multitasking kind of person. I do one thing at a time, usually in silence, so I can focus on getting it done correctly the first time. I live by the Abraham Lincoln quote, "I walk slowly, but I never walk backward." All right, so I think today's theme is interesting. Well, at least it's interesting to me. Because I constantly see good people who never leave footprints that last because they are always walking on tiptoes. They choose not to take a position because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Or they choose to live in some universe of unfounded fear and never take a stand for anything of purpose or value. And the worst of it is the idea that some people choose to believe, wrongly I will add, that they have no value, no worth, no opinion worth sharing. So they stay small and tiptoe around everything and everybody, always taking and never giving back. Hear me, if that's you, enough of you being so fearful of yourself and everyone around you. Why are you so afraid to leave a legacy, or at the very least, a footprint for others to follow? You have a mind, a heart, and a voice. Why aren't you using them for good? I have to say that just is constantly amazing to me that good people just sit quietly. Really, you're taking up space in this world. So tell me, why do you think that you can be so useless to yourself, your family, and your community without a shred of responsibility? How did that germ of such a very bad, terrible idea sink into your head and heart? How silly it is to believe the lie that you, dear listener, have no value, no worth, and no opinion worth sharing. I just got to ask, what will it take for you to realize that you are amazing? You are wonderfully made. You have skills and abilities that others don't have. And you can be anything you put your mind to at any time in your life while you're still here and are able to do so. Because we're getting older. All right, take a look in the mirror. Really, take a look at yourself in the bedroom or bathroom mirror. You do know, don't you, that there is no one in the world like you. There are 8 billion people in the world, and no one is like you. Let me say it again. No one is like you. So knowing that, why do you discount the gift of your being? Let me just be honest. As hard as it is, here's the truth. That is an affront to God or whomever, whatever you believe. What caused you to assume that the creation of who you are has so little value? Trust me when I say you could not be more wrong about your value. For that reason, it is disconcerting to me that you are walking around on tiptoes instead of making a footprint that never leaves a footprint or creating a footpath for others to follow. As you look towards this new year, friend, figure out what you need to do to get out of your own way so you can leave your mark in and on this world. Remember, you can never leave footprints that last if you were always walking on tiptoe. Let me address my earlier thoughts about not wanting to hurt anyone's feelings so that you say and do nothing to upset the apple cart. If you're in a relationship of any kind that does not value the gifts you've been bestowed with by your Creator to speak and be heard or do things you enjoy or give to those who you care about, or you've been silenced by others so you can't hurt their feelings, hear me, wake up, walk away. Yes, I said it, walk away. Okay, wake up and walk away because you are wasting time. Remember, the issue is on them, not you. Their insecurity, their need to be in control, or their dysfunction is not your problem. Some of you need to take a stand and stop tiptoeing around them. The responsibility to leave a footprint is on you. Should you choose to continue in the relationship, and if you choose to do so, and I doubt that's a wise idea, friend, you need to figure out how you can restore your voice in the relationship so you're heard and thereby respected. The fact is, if they can't handle hearing your voice or walking in your footsteps, if they feel offended by your presence, then it's time to stop standing around and start walking away. Let's set the record straight. I am sure you've run into this behavior in some of your friends, and I put that in quotes, when they get so offended for being treated in the same way they treat you. Anyone who treats you like that is not a real friend. They lack confidence. They are insecure. They are selfish. And they think their opinion matters more than yours. And if that's the case, or your current situation, friend, you've got to run away and find new friends. Stop letting others erase your steps so much so that you will one day lose your path. This generation of easily offended friends and family is a problem. But hey, here's the good news. It doesn't have to be your problem. I also want to talk with some of you about the unfounded fear that you are allowing to rule your life. Please hear me. Friends, stop imagining, thinking, and talking yourself into being so fearful of everything. Case in point, the social media babble about the election and the media's endless carping of disdain, fear-mongering, and unrestrained comments. Well, it's all beyond words. Don't you remember the angst and furor over the last election, and the one before that, and the one before that, and the one before that? Come on. You know the pendulum swings right and then left. It always has, and it always will. So stop allowing outside voices to scare you. You don't need to hide under a rock. Live your life. Live out loud. Live fearlessly. Let me take a quick rabbit trail. A number of years ago, I had a friend who was dying of cancer. She has since passed. And the doctors told her to turn off the TV, stop reading the newspaper, stay offline from sites that heap fear and anger and vitriol onto the airwaves. Her doctor told her it was her job, even in her diminished state, to find joy in the good things that life offered her. You know, when she stopped watching the news and tuned out the noise, her final days were as pleasant as they could be. In her day, she was involved in politics, but when her health failed, she stepped away from all of that to fight the fight for her life. And in the end, it was a better life than when she allowed the noise of the world to agitate her unfounded fear. Friends, stop ruminating over things that are out of your control. And for goodness sake, stop being such an emotional drama queen or king. This emotional, physical, and mental upheaval that you are choosing to participate in is not good for your health. And frankly, your friends are tired of hearing about it. So the best option for your success is to change the voice in your head from fearful to fearless. Trust me, it'll take work for you to get there. So you must commit and make a conscious decision to live outside your circle of fear. And one way you do that is to track your successes. Write them down in a notebook so you can refer to them when you're feeling small and tiny because you don't feel good about yourself that day. Listen, as small as some of your successes might seem to be, it was still a success. Suppose you can see that you are better off today than you were yesterday, the day before, last year. And over time, you will begin to build a foundation that could withstand the storm of friends, family, and life. Finally, let me address the issue of your self-worth that is manifesting itself in your low self-esteem, self-image, and self-confidence. When I meet people who think they have no value, no worth, and no opinion worth sharing, I actually run the gamut of emotions from anger to sadness, and I'm not proud to say it, disgust. I know, not very loving on my part, but I find it unbelievable that someone who chooses to allow themselves to be invisible or to tiptoe through life so they don't leave a footprint is like a thief. A person who's so lazy and disinterested in leaving the world around them a better place is just like a thief. I think you're stealing. You don't do the work of bettering yourself because you choose to wallow in your past pain, your past hurt, and every injustice done to you, real or imagined. Yes, I'm making fun of you because I am sick and tired of it. And so is everyone else. They just don't have the guts to say it. All right, the most important thing is this. If you have an ounce of self-acknowledgement, okay, just an ounce, people, I'm not asking for much. You must realize that your thieving is an affront to your soul, your family, your friends, and frankly, your maker. The fact that you choose to slide and slither and snivel by and not pick up your feet and leave a footprint, a trail, a passageway for others to find safety, security, or a sanctuary. Let's be honest, it's heartbreaking. Being content to scuff along, barely leaving a smudge on the ground, is beyond my comprehension. Your actions are dishonorable, and you know that no one respects that type of person or behavior. In fact, it's an affront to everyone who knows you and knows the amazing person you could be. All right, my friends, you've got some tough choices to make if you plan to better your life and leave footprints that last. You, and only you, can think and work and pray your way out of the darkness that you have chosen to live in. Please make the right decision. To seek the light and put away the darkness. Choose to be a friend to others. Take the time to repair the broken places and restore the foundations of your life when it was on track and you knew your calling. Work daily to get back to that place. My advice to you is to be bold and speak your truth with love. So if anyone's feelings are hurt, they will know that your words were not just for power, but for purpose. And for goodness sake, stop living in fear of everything. You were not inherently given the spirit of fear. No one is. It is a learned behavior. So push against the unfounded fear and live in the now. Most importantly, stop. Just stop the destructive mindset that chatters about your self-worth. It is a broken, worn-out record that has no truth or value, so toss it out. Because when all is said and done, wouldn't it be great? I mean, really, wouldn't it be great if you finally stepped squarely down and stood on solid ground instead of tiptoeing through life? Because standing firm, friends, standing firm is the only way to leave a footprint that will last. All right, I told you in the last week's show that I would try to be nicer. Obviously, I did not achieve that today. However, I do believe this message is important to many of you listening, or you know people, or they're in your family. They just tiptoe through life, and they are missing the opportunity to be a blessing to others. I know it's tough love, but you can take it. Why? You're a smart person. Listen, you're connected to my show here. But more importantly, I believe so many of you are missing opportunity that is waiting for you to step into it. All right. Believe it or not, you are still listening to Deb Sofield's encouragement for your rockstar amazing life. And I'm going to find a show next week that's a little nicer. I'm going to try. And here's why. I want you to stay with me. I know it's tough. You're tough. Or you will be when we're done. Because I want you to have a life that you know you deserve. I mean, goodness gracious, people. Come on, this could be your time. And here's what's going to happen. If you'll stay with me, I will give you the encouragement I believe you need to be able to step out on faith. And I will walk with you as we work towards a better day. And just remember, Deb doesn't care what the world says about you. I want you to know that I care about you for a lot of reasons, but probably the most important is that I want you to leave a footprint that will last. Hey, that's why I do these podcasts. That's why I did the radio show. I want to leave a footprint that will last because I believe others, if they could walk in my steps, if they could learn to take that next step, it could change their life for the better. And I can't think of anything more exciting as that to be the legacy that I and you will leave. And here's my promise. I'll walk alongside you as we follow your dream of success, whatever that looks like, together. All right, thanks for joining me. You've been listening to Deb Sofield's Encouragement for Your Life. Join me next week. Let's continue this wonderful conversation. Have a good one, everybody.